What happens to your business when you go to sleep? Your team logs off. Emails wait until morning. New inquiries sit unanswered. Research stops. Sales activity slows down. And for the next 8 or 10 hours, a significant part of the business simply waits. But your market doesn't. Your competitors don't. And increasingly, AI doesn't either. It is August 2026, and we're moving beyond the era of simple business automation. We're now entering the age of autonomous business operations, where AI agents can research, analyze information, use tools, and carry out increasingly complex workflows while the humans are offline. This isn't another chatbot. And it isn't simply an automation that moves information from one system to another. We're beginning to see the emergence of something much closer to a digital workforce. And that means businesses can start turning those previously dormant hours into a second operational cycle. The business day is changing for decades. Businesses have been designed around human availability. People work during certain hours. They need rest, they have meetings, holidays, and competing priorities. Obviously, none of that is a problem. The problem is that we've built entire business processes around the assumption that productive work can only happen while somebody is sitting in front of a screen. Traditional automation helped change that. You could have a customer fill in a form, automatically create a CRM record, and trigger an email without anybody touching the process. Very useful. But those systems were still fundamentally following instructions. If this happens, do that. And when something happened that the workflow wasn't designed for, it would often stop or hand the problem back to a human. AI agents introduce something different. Instead of telling the system every individual action it needs to perform, we can increasingly give it an objective. This is what we're trying to achieve. These are the tools you're allowed to use. These are the rules you must follow. Now work out the best way to get there. That is a major change. We're moving from automation that simply follows instructions towards systems that can reason through parts of a workflow. And that changes what can happen after everybody leaves the office. The autonomous night shift. Imagine your team finishes work at 6. Everyone goes home, but the system keeps working. During the evening, an AI agent might monitor incoming opportunities while another researches potential customers or analyses changes happening in your market. If something interesting appears, that information can be passed into another part of the system for analysis. Perhaps a company has announced that it's expanding into a new market. The AI can compare that company against your ideal customer profile, determine whether the opportunity looks relevant, and prepare a briefing explaining what happened and why your sales team might want to pay attention. Nobody had to sit there at 11 o'clock at night doing the research. By the time somebody opens the CRM the following morning, much of that preparation could already be waiting for them. And this is where agentic AI becomes much more interesting than basic automation, because these systems can potentially work across documents, databases, CRM information, APIs, and other authorized business tools. They can gather information from one place, analyze it, and use the result to determine what should happen next. The objective isn't to create AI simply because it sounds impressive. The objective is to build an operational layer where machines handle more of the repetitive cognitive work while humans remain responsible for the decisions that actually require human judgment. That is the important distinction. We're not necessarily removing humans from the loop. We're changing where they sit within it. What this looks like. In sales, lead generation is a good example. Think about how much time traditional prospecting actually consumes. Somebody has to find the company, understand what it does, work out whether it's relevant, identify potential opportunities, and then turn all of that information into something useful for the sales team. A lot of that work is necessary. But does all of it require a human? Increasingly, the answer is no. An AI system can begin with the criteria that define a valuable customer for your business and continuously look for companies that appear to fit. More importantly, it can look for signals. Maybe a company has raised investment. Perhaps it's suddenly recruiting heavily, entering a new market or launching a product. On their own, those are simply pieces of information. but an AI agent can potentially connect them. It can identify why that change might matter to your business and prepare the information for somebody in sales to review. So when your team arrives in the morning, they aren't starting with a blank screen and spending hours researching. They're starting with opportunities that have already been investigated and organized. And there is an important distinction here. The goal isn't to unleash an AI system that sends thousands of unsolicited messages across the internet while everybody is asleep. That isn't intelligent automation. That is automated spam. The valuable part is the preparation. Let the AI do the repetitive research, sorting, and analysis. Then let the human do what humans are much better at: understanding nuance, building relationships, and deciding what action actually makes sense. The AI works the night shift. The human makes the judgment. That is a far more useful model. Autonomy still needs control. Now, whenever we talk about autonomous AI, there is an obvious concern. What happens when it gets something wrong? And that is exactly the right question to ask. Because giving an AI system more autonomy does not mean giving it unlimited authority. Quite the opposite. The more capable the system becomes, the more important the boundaries become. If an agent is connected to your CRM, your customer data, or paid APIs, you need to decide very clearly what it can access, what it can change, and which actions still require human approval. You also need to know when something has gone wrong. Imagine an agent gets stuck repeating the same process and starts making unnecessary API calls throughout the night. Congratulations. You have just created a very sophisticated machine for spending money at 3 o'clock in the morning. That is why autonomous systems need proper monitoring. You set spending limits. You define when the system should stop. You decide which decisions need approval, and you make sure there is a clear escalation path when the AI encounters something it doesn't understand. The system should also leave a record of what it has done and why, because autonomy without accountability isn't intelligent. It's simply risky. The goal is not to surrender control of the business. The goal is to stop controlling every tiny step manually. Here, the real advantage is time. And this is where the economics become interesting. Most people look at AI automation and immediately think about reducing costs. But there is another advantage that could be far more important: time. A traditional business might have 8 productive operational hours in a working day. An agent-enabled business can potentially keep certain processes moving around the clock. That doesn't mean humans working 24 hours. It means the systems continue progressing work. During the day, your people provide strategy, creativity, relationships, and judgment. While they're offline, AI can continue researching, organizing information, monitoring activity, and preparing work for the following day. Then the humans come back in, review what happened, and make the important decisions. Think about what that does over time. A competitor discovers an opportunity on Monday morning and spends half the day investigating it. Your system found the same opportunity overnight. When your team arrives on Monday morning, the research is already waiting. The difference on one particular morning might seem small, but repeat that process every day for a year, and you start creating a very different kind of organization. The real advantage isn't simply doing things more cheaply. It's shortening the distance between information appearing and your business being ready to act on it. Your role changes as well. There is another consequence of all this. As AI agents become more capable, one of the most valuable skills in business will be understanding how work should actually flow through the organization. Instead of asking, "How do I perform this task faster?" managers will increasingly ask, "Why is a human doing this part at all?" And that doesn't mean replacing everybody with machines. It means being much more deliberate about where human intelligence actually creates value. If something requires judgment, creativity, empathy, negotiation, or responsibility, there is a strong reason for a human to be involved. But if somebody is repeatedly copying information, searching for the same types of data, or organizing material into the same format every day, there may be a better way to design that process. So management itself starts to change. You're no longer just managing people. You're designing workflows that combine people, software, and AI. And the companies that become very good at that may not need the largest teams. They may simply have better designed operating systems. The new competitive baseline. Right now, autonomous agents still feel advanced. That will not last. We've seen this pattern before. Email changed how businesses communicated. Cloud computing changed where businesses operated. Automation changed how repetitive work was handled. Eventually, every one of those technologies stopped being an advantage and simply became part of doing business. AI agents are heading in the same direction, but that doesn't mean handing your entire company over to AI tomorrow. Far from it. A much smarter place to start is to look at your working day and ask one simple question. What keeps consuming my team's time that probably doesn't need a human doing it every single time? Maybe it's researching a potential customer before somebody from sales speaks to them. Maybe it's answering the same customer questions again and again. Or perhaps it's taking information from several different places and turning it into something your team can actually use. Those are the opportunities. Start with one. Build the workflow around it. Decide where AI can act independently and where a human still needs to make the call. Then measure whether it actually saves time or produces a better result. If it does, expand it. Because the goal isn't to create a business without humans, it's to stop using talented humans as the glue holding repetitive processes together. Your team should be doing the work that requires judgment, creativity, and relationships. The machines can increasingly handle more of everything underneath. And once you start thinking about your business that way, the idea of a company that keeps operating after everybody goes home suddenly doesn't sound particularly futuristic. It sounds inevitable. And in fact, part of that future is already here. Because at Snobbots, we're already building it. Your website shouldn't sleep either. One of the simplest places to see this idea in action is your own website. Think about what normally happens when somebody visits your website outside business hours. Maybe they're interested in what you sell. Maybe they have a question. Maybe they're comparing you with a competitor, and there is one piece of information they need before they make a decision. If nobody is available, they search around the website, hopefully find the answer, and if they don't, they may simply leave. That is precisely the sort of gap AI can begin to close. With the Snobbots AI platform, your website can become part of your 24/7 digital workforce. Answering customer questions, engaging visitors, capturing inquiries, and helping people find the information they need, even when nobody from your team is online. So somebody lands on your website at 2 in the morning and asks a question. Your office might be closed, but the conversation doesn't have to be. Your website can still respond. It can still help that visitor understand your business, and it can still capture the opportunity so your team can pick it up when they return. That is what we mean when we talk about a business continuing to operate while you sleep. It doesn't have to begin with some enormous autonomous system running your entire company. It can begin with one part of the business that simply becomes more intelligent and more available. And then you build from there. If you want to see how Snobbots can put AI to work inside your business, visit snobbots.com. And if you want more practical breakdowns of AI agents, automation, and the technology changing how businesses operate, subscribe to Snobbots. Because the future of work isn't about making people work longer. It's about building smarter systems around them. Your team should be able to switch off. Your business doesn't have to. This is Snobbots, where mind meets machine.